Alright, today we're gonna do some modal practicing over Little Sunflower, the Freddie Hubbard tune. Some people think of this as a beginner tune. It is kind of a beginner jazz improv tune, but even if you are an advanced player, and I know some of my viewers are advanced players, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't work on easier tunes, right? So hopefully there will be something for you as well, even if you are an advanced player. So let's get started, shall we? So I'll use my iReal book here. This rhythm section is called Pop Smooth. The other ones were bothering me for some reason, so this was the best one I think for what we're gonna do today. So I'll just play the tune for you. That's 16 bars of D Dorian. Then the B section. E flat. So we're gonna play E flat Lydian there. You could play major, but we're gonna do Lydian. And then it goes to D Lydian. So E flat Lydian and D Lydian alternating. Then there's another A section, so it starts over with D. Some real books doesn't tell you that, but there should be another A section. Fourths. So this is the last A. Okay, so now we're just gonna play scales. So D Dorian, just one octave, up and down. I'll explain later why just one octave. Just play the D Dorian scale, so we make sure that we know the scale, right? Just one octave. You can add some rhythm, phrasing. If you want. If you get bored. Now, we just transition into E flat Lydian. And D Lydian. So again, for reasons I will explain later on, we're just going to do one octave. You could obviously do more, but one octave, just thirds, like this. Here it starts over. First, play them evenly. When you get more comfortable, you can add some rhythm perhaps. And then seamlessly, you should just transition over the chord change. E flat again. Sorry. Sorry. Let's do it again. It's hard to talk at the same time. I'm trying to play it, talk at the same time. There it is. Back to Dorian. And then you can do alternating like this. So that was a long warm up. Now you should be warmed up. And so far there shouldn't be any fingering issues really, just playing the scale like that. And thirds. Usually we don't get into any fingering problems yet. So you want to think about your tone and your timing should be sounding nice. I use a little bit of legato. I play the way I think I'm actually playing when I'm playing, if you know what I mean. So now, why just one octave? Okay, we did thirds. Next, we have fourths. So you want to make sure before you even play fourths, so instead of going to thirds like this, those are thirds. Okay. I always ask my students to sing it, because next we're gonna do fourths. And when I ask them to sing fourths, almost every time they do this, and I'm like, well, those are thirds. What are fourths? You need to be able to sing it. So when we get to the E flat, now sing, before you even play it, sing fourths. Like that pattern. And then D. So you know, I don't have a good singing voice. I can't really sing at all, to be honest. But I can hit those notes. At least I'm not singing the thirds. So my point, my argument is that if you can't do that, if you can't sing those notes, you're not ready to play it. you need to be able to hear it, because improvisation is about imagining things. You want to imagine something and then play it. But if you can't hear it, if you can't imagine it, it's not gonna show up in your playing, right? So if you know what I mean. So then it could actually be argued that you're just wasting your time if you're doing these exercises, just moving your fingers, and it's chances are that it's your playing is gonna sound like that. It's gonna sound like you're just moving your fingers, but you want your imagination to be deciding what you're playing. So I think it's very important that you can sing it before you play it. So if you, some of you, well, that's easy, you can do it, no problem, that's fine. But if you are one of those who feel like, yeah, I don't think I can do that, I would put down my instrument and work on that until I feel a little bit more comfortable with that, and then go back to this exercise. And then I can guarantee you that you will improve. So we have fourths. Same thing, you can go up. Getting into some kind of fingering issues when we do this for us guitar players. Should we bar, or should we try to find a separate fingers? So this is not really a lesson on that. I don't really care, to be honest, because it's different for everybody, like the way we do that, because of how our hands work, basically. So I don't like to do those barrings too much, but the index finger can do it. So I do a little bit of both. So you have to come up with a way that works for you to finger those patterns. And then you can do one up, one down. And that's why I picked one octave, right? So that you can sing it. So let's try that. Here we go. So fourth D Dorian. So if you are more an advanced player, you could find ways to play a bigger register and 2 octaves and maybe 16th notes instead of 8th notes and all that. And of course you should do this on different areas of the fretboard, not just in one place. I'm doing just in the 5th position for the sake of this video. Okay, so then you can do 5ths, same thing. Again, sing it before you play it. And then when I do those things, I tend to play this way. Kind of like Papazzini, right? But when I play the alternating pattern, it's easier to stay in position. Easier, I say. So you need to work on your fifth patterns, right? And then you can do sixths as well, right? Go crazy. So what else can you do? Yeah, you can do pentatonics. You can do kind of the same thing, right? D minor pentatonic. And E flat major. I think most of you are aware of the E flat major pentatonic is not the best choice for a Lydian sound because it doesn't capture the Lydian sound. It doesn't give you those notes. So for each of those modes, there are 3 pentatonics, like the regular pentatonics. So you can do D minor, of course, for the D minor. So do the same pattern. I can also play E minor. And then you can play D minor over the E flat major and C sharp minor over the D major. Then you get those Lydian notes, the sharp 11s. So what I like to do, if possible, I'll start on the D even when I'm playing the other ones. So if I play D minor pentatonic, I can either go or alternating up and down. So again, you want to sing those, but then sing A minor pentatonic, but starting on the same note. E minor starting on this note. And with the E flat you can't do that because there is no E flat in the G minor, but you can still start on the E flat. So I play a G minor pentatonic, but I start on E flat. So instead of these pentatonics to add it to your mix as well. Intervals. Go to E flat. Okay, I digress. So I was just mixing those pentatonics with some intervals and trying to just create those modes, right? So if you are familiar with all this stuff and this was nothing new and this was pretty easy for you, so if you, for some players, if you reach a certain level like D Dorian and Lydia and all that stuff, it's kind of, once you have that on your fingers, you can do anything you want. So what you can do is you can take the same concept I did with intervallic patterns and all that and pick a trickier tune like Naima or Blue and Green perhaps. What's that way shorter tune? Infant Eyes. So it's really interesting to do, especially those fourth patterns and fifth patterns. If you do that over altered scales and stuff like that, then it's not so easy. So take the same concept I just did, all this stuff, and try it over a tune that has altered chords and more advanced chords, right? So this stuff is on my Patreon page. Thank you to my Patreons. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I shall see you next time.